smelling of boiled cabbage and old floor wax. Dr. Sinclair stood before the heavy wooden door, which was painted a chipped, faded brown. He knocked firmly. "Mr. Witherspoon? It is Dr. Sinclair. I would like to speak with you." No answer. "Mr. Witherspoon?" he called out, knocking louder. "Go away." A muffled voice came from the other side of the door. "I am not home." "It is Dr. Sinclair, Mr. Witherspoon. I was here last week. You remember?" "Sorry, I wasn't home last week either," the voice replied. Dr. Sinclair sighed, leaning his forehead against the cool wood of the door frame. "Mr. Witherspoon, I could legally force you to open this door to me. I have the authority to bring the authorities if I believe you are a danger to yourself. Is that what you want?" There was a long silence, followed by the sound of several heavy deadbolts sliding open. The door creaked open a few inches, held by a sturdy brass chain. Edgar's face appeared in the gap, his eyes peering suspiciously through his spectacles. "You're a curious one," Edgar said. "Odd. You mean?" Sinclair asked. "I mean nosy," Edgar retorted with a small, dry smile. "I am paid to be nosy," Sinclair said, matching his tone. "Curious, I mean." "Really?" Edgar opened the door fully, allowing the doctor to see inside. "Don't you think that is odd? Most people are curious for nothing. They want to know what their neighbors are having for dinner, or who is buying a new television. But you are curious about things that matter. That is very nice for you. Are the hours good?" Dr. Sinclair stepped into the apartment, and the breath was instantly caught in his throat. The apartment was not a fire trap of random garbage, as Mrs. Milligan had feared. It was a cathedral of kinetic art. Spanning from the floor to the high ceiling, stretching across the living room and into the kitchen, was a massive, incredibly intricate contraption. It was made of thousands of disparate objects, all connected in a delicate, breathing web. There were bicycle spokes, copper wires, spinning tinfoil windmills, brass thimbles, sliding metal rulers, and old baseball cards taped to delicate balance scales. Near the center, a red plastic yo-yo spun slowly on a silver thread, rising and falling with perfect, hypnotic rhythm. Every few seconds, a marble would roll down a winding track of split bamboo, drop into a small tin cup, tilt a balance beam, and send another marble on its way. The room was filled with a soft, symphonic chorus of ticks, clicks, hums, and the gentle sighing of small bellows. It was beautiful, mesmerizing, and utterly overwhelming. "Mr. Witherspoon," Dr. Sinclair whispered, his eyes wide as he took in the scale of the machine. "Why do you collect dolls' heads, shoes, paper clips?" Edgar walked over to a delicate assembly of brass gears. "I can't afford Rembrandts," he said simply. Suddenly, a loud, sharp pop echoed from the kitchen. One of the spinning tinfoil wheels slowed to a halt. "What?" Edgar gasped, his face turning pale. Oh no, not now." He frantically began searching through a pile of cardboard boxes near the window. "As usual, it has been lovely, Doctor. But please don't call again. I may have to ask you to leave immediately." "Mr. Witherspoon, I may have to call again," Sinclair said, his voice firm but compassionate. "The next time it might not be so lovely. You understand what I mean. Your family is very worried. The city has rules. Wouldn't you rather invite me in of your own free will and explain this to me, so I can help them understand?" Edgar stopped searching and looked at the doctor, his eyes softening. He let out a long, tired sigh. You must understand. But be very, very careful where you walk. One wrong step, one bumped wire, and the whole balance could be lost." Dr. Sinclair walked carefully into the room, stepping over a line of colored string that was stretched across the floorboards. "How is it, Edgar? What are we looking at?" "It's very interesting, Mr. Witherspoon," Sinclair said, trying to keep his voice calm and professional. What is it?" "This?" Edgar asked, gesturing proudly to the entire room. "Yes, this is the only thing that keeps the world from going poof." Dr. Sinclair took a deep breath. Now, let me understand you clearly, Mr. Witherspoon, crying that the old man in apartment 4B is creeping around their doorsteps. Dr. Sinclair nodded slowly. And does Mr. Witherspoon represent any danger to them? He won't let anybody into his apartment, Mrs. Milligan said, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Not even his own niece, Cynthia, who is the sweetest girl you could ever meet. All that junk he is collecting, Doctor, it is a fire trap. If he piles up any more old newspapers or broken machinery, the whole building will go up in smoke. He could hurt himself, and he could hurt other people, namely, me. He needs your professional help, Doctor. He really does. I see, Dr. Sinclair said gently. Collecting can sometimes be a coping mechanism for loneliness, especially in older individuals who feel they have lost control over their lives. It is more than just collecting, Mrs. Milligan insisted. Yesterday, he wanted a yo-yo. He was absolutely frantic about it. He told me he had to have a red plastic yo-yo by 6 o'clock in the evening or something terrible would happen. And last week, he was begging people for pieces of broken dolls. Heads, arms, legs. Can you imagine? An old man carrying around a sack of doll parts? It is macabre. Doctor, please do something. For his sake. And ours, of course. I will certainly look into the matter, Dr. Sinclair promised. I can pay a visit to his apartment building and see if I can have a quiet chat with him. Mrs. Milligan stood up, looking visibly relieved. Oh, thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Just a warning, though. His apartment bell does not work. An electrical issue? Ah, no, she sighed. I think he disconnected it himself. He says the ringing disrupts his work. You will probably find him down in the basement. He is always down there, poking around near the boiler. Thank you, Mrs. Milligan. I will go there this afternoon. The basement of the apartment building was cool, damp, and smelled of rust, coal dust, and old concrete. Overhead, thick pipes wrapped in yellowing insulation ran like giant veins across the ceiling, humming with the flow of hot water. Dr. Sinclair walked down the concrete steps slowly, his leather shoes clicking softly against the stone. As he reached the bottom of the stairs, he heard the faint, metallic clatter of tools and a soft, rhythmic humming. Oh, thank you. Thanks anyway, Mr. Pilchick. A cheerful, reedy voice called out from the shadows near the boiler. But I already found a brass thimble. It was exactly what I needed to steady the western quadrant. Dr. Sinclair stepped around a stack of old wooden crates. Standing near an array of copper water pipes was an elderly man wearing a faded tweed vest over a mismatched plaid shirt. His hair was a wild, snowy halo, and a pair of thick, wire-rimmed spectacles sat precariously on the bridge of his nose. He was holding a small cardboard box filled with various oddments. You are not Mr. Pilchick, the old man observed, squinting through his thick lenses. No, I am not, the doctor said, offering a warm, reassuring smile. I am Dr. Jeremy Sinclair. May I talk to you, Mr. Witherspoon? Some other time, perhaps? Edgar Witherspoon said briskly, turning back to his box of treasures. I am in a terrible hurry. I have to look for a blonde doll's head. It is absolutely critical. Dr. Sinclair watched as the old man scurried past him, his eyes scanning the dusty floorboards with intense concentration. For the doctor, this was an all-too-common sight. An old man trapped in a private world of irrational urgencies, driven by the peculiar logic of a fading mind. It was a sad, quiet tragedy that he witnessed almost every week in his practice. But as he watched Edgar Witherspoon carefully step over a puddle of water, his movements strangely deliberate and precise, Dr. Sinclair felt a curious sensation. There was no fear in the old man's eyes, only a profound sense of duty. Mr. Witherspoon, Dr. Sinclair said, following him down the narrow corridor. Your niece, Cynthia. She worries about you very much. She is a very nice woman, and she wants to make sure you are safe.